It's fine. Hey, it's Captain Matt here with the Lighting Trade School podcast. I'm here as always with Shane Glow Daddy. How you doing, Glow Daddy?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, Cap?
Great. I know how awkward you always get when I call you Glow Daddy, so I make sure I do it often. And then our mentor, the wizard, the Illuminator, the godfather of landscape lighting, Nate Mullen. Nate, how are you doing?
Nate,
Super good. Had a great 4th of July. Hope you guys did too. Wishing our happy anniversary to our country at 250 years. That was pretty exciting. So it's good. Yeah, great.
Sweet.
All right. Ours was full of rain, but if y'all didn't hear about the Texas flooding,
oh my God,
60 miles northwest of us, just such a nightmare, right? It's hard to feel like enjoy it and playing with kids while folks 60 miles away just had their kids literally just die in a horrific flood.
Yeah.
Not to bring the tone down, but it was horrible.
Is that you have clients and friends and stuff in that area, Shane?
No, not too much. No one I know was affected. That I know that's 60 miles away. So I don't think I know anyone who's directly affected.
Okay.
I mean, it's all over the news. The river kind of connects from there to here. So we got a lot of that here, but nothing like what they got.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
Can't imagine it.
All right. Well, on that note, so this podcast today, again, is brought to you by Lifetime Lighting Systems. Check them out, lifetimelightingsystems.com. Obviously, Nate Mullen. I guess not obvious. Nate Mullen is the founder of it. He's got quite the history in landscape lighting. So check them out, sign up. And we kind of got talking today. We're going through some data, looking at people in the Illuminati Lounge Club, people in Lifetime Lighting, and what are the things that connect them together? What makes, we have a couple of absolute rock stars this year, 5 or 6 that came out swinging. And what is the difference? Because tons of guys sign up for the website and don't order something. Tons of guys buy demo kits, don't order lights. So what is it, if you are a new contractor, what can you do to elevate you the fastest? Because it's the middle of July and there's still time to make another 6 figures before summer ends. So today I just want to do a little round robin. We'll talk about some things that you can do right now this summer to make 6 figures in landscape lighting, and kind of talk a little bit too about why, what we've seen other people doing. So I guess I'll just start off. The biggest thing for the 5-6 guys that are heaviest hitters, they reach out. They're on the phone with Nate. They're on the phone with Shane. They're on the phone with me. They're buying Lifetime Lighting. They bought a demo kit. They're not trying to skirt around anything. They see the value there and they're leaning on it. Would you guys disagree with that's the biggest, if not the number one thing, is the guys that are reaching out to us all the time are the ones that become heavy hitters?
Yeah. So, I mean, for sure is, them reaching out and then us allowing to capitalize on, for me, it's like super current technology and it's been around forever, is FaceTime. And they walk around a job and, it needs to be 50 lights or 150 lights. When FaceTime, it's like being there and them understanding placement. And then I think the next biggest thing besides the reach out and then obviously listening and us allowing to mentor them is them going to do a mock-up with demo kits. So in doing this for over 30 years, I don't think I've went into very many extremely successful lighting guys that didn't do mock-ups. You want to be a fucking home run hitter and sell good jobs, and a good job could be 30 lights or 300 lights, right? You're typically doing with a mock-up, and that requires a demo kit.
Yeah. And we hear that a lot. We really do harp on demoing. And you got some other guys in the industry that say, demoing is only for new guys. You don't need to be doing it. Well, Nate, you've been in the game longer than anyone that's out there talking right now. Do you still demo?
Yeah, I still demo because, once you get skilled and, you got the vocabulary and you've got, your lingo down, can you go out and sell a 100 light job, 150? Of course you can. But you turn that 150 light job into a 350 or a 500 light job, that requires fucking usually a demo, right? Because nobody wants 500 lights. They just don't. It's Disneyland, it's Las Vegas. They don't want it, right? So you have to take them through a structured plan, and that structured plan usually requires a mock-up. Now, is a way to do a demo, which we would call an above ground demo, to where when you're selling a 500 light job, you sell 500 light jobs, right? So you don't go in selling a 500 light job. You phase it, you zone it, you structure it to where you can install real lights, do a mock-up, we call it above ground install. And then you sell 100 lights or 50 lights, and then the client keeps adding, hey, let's do this in that other area, or you've already pre-zoned it. So it takes a lot of stress away from them that they're buying 10, 50 light jobs, 500 light jobs, and that's a lot of times they can easily digest that, and they add, because the trick to selling is, it really is, if I was gonna write another book on fucking selling, it'd be fucking 3 sentences. Figure out how the consumer wants to buy from you. That's it. No more. Throw every fucking sales book away. That's it. Louis Vuitton, fucking Tiffany, Ferrari. They just figure out how they get the consumer wanting to buy their product. Well, that's what the demo does. It converts selling into buying, and they add, right? Above ground demo, right? It's just the best conversion tool in the world.
Yeah. I'll say, you got something to say, Shane?
Kind of. So they talk about turning a 150 light job into 400 light job. You need a demo. Well, I was going to say for everyone out there that's not doing big jobs, a demo can easily get you from a 15 light job to a 30 light job.
Yeah, fair statement.
Is that worth a couple hours at night to add a $4,000 extra or something to your ticket? Yeah, 100%. Still worth it. And it still helps close the job in the first place.
Yeah. And one thing I've seen, working with a lot of guys is, Nate told me this when I got started, to do 30 demos as fast as possible. I'm talking to a lot of these guys who buy demo kits who then say they're either new to an area or they just don't know anybody and they don't have marketing and they can't get demos. And I have such a hard time believing that to be true, because I don't think there's anyone alive that can't go get 20 people to let them come to their house at night, whether they know them or not, whether it's they're looking for lighting or not. And I tell these guys, when you're first starting out with these demos, you need to practice. Like when these are brand new guys, right? You want to make 100,000 this summer, you have to be doing it. Nate says all the time, activity creates it, right? If you're going out there and creating action, you just get luckier, right? And I'm air quoting luckier. Shane, if you think you had no marketing, no previous clients, no nothing, no Christmas clients, no power washing clients, and I just dropped you in Nebraska, could you find 20, 25 people to let you demo for free one night?
100%. Yeah. Without a doubt in my mind. Yeah, it wouldn't even faze me. If you got a little hustle in you and you're not afraid to go out and network and do work for free.
Yeah.
Activity equals revenue. Something will happen out of it.
Right. And how about you? Was that?
This is your first comment. We talked about this a little bit on the Illuminati Lounge Club. I'd say you kind of braced past it, but if you're looking to really up your game, like I am a strong believer in just networking with high performers. We have high performers on this call every Wednesday. We've got a private Telegram chat. We are constantly, and we're super active. And this is a very close knit group. It's not like there's 500 people in there. So you get your questions answered. Even in our Facebook group, we still answer questions, not quite as intent as we would in the ILC, the Illuminati Lounge Club. But yeah, if you want to add $100,000 to your revenue, well, go network with guys who are currently doing it every week. And for $12 a week, that's just a stupid no-brainer. Sorry. Go.
No, that's perfect. That's great. Right. I mean, these guys that are heaviest hitters are carving out an hour every Wednesday morning to attend these ILC calls. So for $47, you can literally be sitting with Shane, Nate, me, and these other heavy hitters. Like that's a no fucking brainer. If I was doing my local service business and I knew it was a $47 thing I could buy to go sit in front of all the men and women who are doing exactly what I want to do, no brainer. I'd pay it in a heartbeat and I'd show up every week.
So when you think about time, I mean, what's the one thing that's more valuable to any of us? It's time. So when you think about when you're in construction, and that's what we are, we're in construction, right? Technically, right? So whether you're roofing or painting a house or putting floor on or Christmas lights or landscape lighting, it takes time to go out and secure a job. You have to bid the job, and then what's your close ratio? So when you look at it, and I talk to guys, and the one negative, and it is a negative, right? Hey, I got to go out at night. I've already worked all day. Now I got to stay away from my family, and I've got to go work at night. Yeah, that is a negative, and we hate that. So if you don't want to go out at night, don't fucking get into landscape lighting. Then who gives a shit? So, but when you look at construction, and you're a painting contractor or an electrical contractor like I was, you have to your full-time job is typically bidding. So what's your close ratio in normal construction work? Probably 30%, 35% is probably a really decent close ratio. It means you're wasting 75% of your time or 65% of your time. So in landscape lighting, those ratios are normal. 20, 30, 40% close ratio. So if you could do an activity with a nighttime demo and put real lights in real locations, and you could get those close ratios up with proper pre-qualifying, you can get a 90% close ratio, because that's the number, is 90%. You just saved yourself a lot of fucking time. And that time, when your close ratio is high, you will double and triple your income. So I make bets with people. I will double the amount of money that you make in the next 12 months if I can double your close ratio. And that's just numbers, right? I double your close ratio, I double your income. And how do I double your close ratio? Right? Pre-qualify and go do demos. And that just factually happens.
Matt,
So,
I don't know if you were the same, but Nate's always said that, right? Like he's never changed his message. And I remember him saying that, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, whenever I met him. And I thought, like, BS, this guy has to be exaggerating. There's no way I'm going to close 80, 90%. And now, like, fast forward to now, that is a true statement. It took me a while to get there, probably just building up the design skills, the confidence, the system, our proposals. But we definitely close 80% or more of the jobs we quote these days. So it's a true statement, but it wasn't always. I thought Nate was BS for a long time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think a lot of it, not only, yes, the confidence does it, knowing your design does it. Also, Nate mentioned pre-qualifying. I think that's a huge thing, because you can do a ton of demos and still have a 10% close rate. But I do want to encourage new guys, like when we're saying go do 30 demos in 30 days, right? I don't think if anyone does that, they would lose, right? So what Nate told me to do, it's what I did. And it worked, right? That first summer, I made over $100,000 because I was just like, okay, well, this guy made it. I'm just going to do it. Like, he told me to go demo every night. Now, was everyone qualified? No, so don't get discouraged when you're starting out. If you're just asking random people, your friends and family, go in with the mindset that that's for you to learn and build a portfolio. Don't get discouraged if your Uncle Tom won't buy. That's not the goal of that. But when you're out there and you're go knock on the doors, go leave door hangers when you're doing your family or friends that aren't going to buy lighting, that's how you you're getting out there and doing activities. You're not just there doing it. Or if you're doing it for family and friends, be like, hey, I want you to take a picture, post it on your Facebook, and tag me. Hey, doing a demo tonight with Barefoot Lighting. Like, get creative. But you have to be out there. This whole thing of, I don't know anybody. How do I do marketing? If I dropped you off in Alabama with not even a phone number, take away your wallet, could you get 20 demos and end up probably closing a few of those?
yeah, and I used to get on planes every week, every other week when I owned Unique Lighting. I would be dropped off into fucking Nebraska. I was going to do a seminar. So I've written a couple books on outdoor lighting. I have tons of Shutterfly books, coffee table books. I've walked up to really nice homes before and told people, hey, you have the nicest entry I've ever seen in my life. I'm a lighting guy. I do coffee table books. I would like to set a mock-up on your your front porch, your portico share, your do whatever, because it has all these elements. Okay, half the time they tell you to get the fuck off their porch. The other half the time say, yeah, no, it's not a problem. Let me tell you what the conversion rate is of knocking on a stranger's door and lighting up their portico share or whatever it is. Yeah, it's high because those people have nice stuff to light. So yeah, you can do a lot of shit when you just go into any neighborhood, right, by being creative. And like Shane said earlier, man, it's activities. Activities drive results. Results drive revenue. So yeah, you have to be creative sometimes.
I'll
So
also add, you said something, Nate, don't get into lighting if you don't want to work at night. I maybe push back a little bit. I've got a family. I've got a little one. I've got a special needs autistic kid. Like my wife hates it when I leave at night. I would say, there could be like a who, not how kind of a scenario. Have you ever read that book, Who, Not How? If you've got a top guy that you can teach design to, like they could do the demos, and you just do as the business owner, the big ones, which is where I'm at. I won't say I was always there, but I don't go out and do every single demo that we do. I only go out and do the well of a customer, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot, but I'm not out there doing demos every single week anymore.
Well, yeah, but you went through a full 4 or 5 year process, like you said in the beginning. You're going to, because the owner of the business needs to, because when you want to start, see the key to the demo. When you look foundation, you have to understand what the demo does. Besides taking a 10 light to a 20 light or 20 light to a 40 light, right? Because a lot of times people are happy where they're at. Oh, I do X amount of lights and I do X amount of lights per job, and I'm super happy. Okay, I got it. But I'm telling you, whoever's out there listening, you're not an artist. You're a guy that sticks lights in the ground and lights up a fucking tree. So when you want to make that conversion and you want to be a lighting guy, it is making millions per year. And if you're happy with not making millions per year, then you don't have to do that. But when you want to make that conversion, it's a switch in your mind that goes from a lighting guy that just sticks lights in the ground and front lights everything to a conversion of I'm a lighting artist. So when you're a lighting artist, you take a different approach to a job, and a different approach takes 2 to 4 times more fixtures because you're doing what lighting does, right? It absorbs, it reflects and then transmits. So you're making negative and positive spaces, and you're really doing lighting portraits, lighting compositions. That's why you have to do a demo, because nobody wants 100 lights, nobody wants 500 lights, nobody understands. There is no words that you can use in the English language that will accurately describe what 100 lights looks on a job. None, zero. They're thinking in their mind, right? Vegas, Disneyland, massive resorts, bright lighting, stadium lighting. It's like if I said to you, hey, we're going to get on a bus right now. We're going to go to SeaWorld. We're going to see the Shamu the whale. Every fucking person listening to this podcast has the same mental picture as Shamu the whale, right? My fat sister-in-law, white, black, two-toned, big whale swimming around in the ocean, right? Same mental fixture. If I tell you there's 100 lights I'm going to put in your front door, not one person can mentally picture what I picture in my mind. No, nobody, zero. They're thinking absolutely beyond crazy. So when you do what I do, which is lighting compositions, my middle name is subtle lighting. It takes 100 lights. My 100 lights versus your 50, guaranteed every time, will be subtle lighting that has character to it in lighting composition. It will not be overly lit because it takes more lights to produce less light. Okay, that's why you have to do demos. You want to do a 20 light job? Don't do a demo. Don't work at night. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to fucking be a stud lighting guy that sells massive jobs and makes a lot of money? You're working at night. Someone's working at night, right? No, Shane's lucky he's got his guy out there. He's doing it. That's okay. A lot of times people are buying me, the lighting artist, right? So when I sell these massive jobs, it's me. It's Nate Mullen. It's not my fucking guy, right? It's me. I'm the guy they want to hire, right? They don't want to hire my guy. I'm the artist. It's a total different mindset. You're buying me, Nate Mullen, visual artist. That's who you're buying. And that's why no one can compete with me. Nobody, because they're buying me. Not to say that Shane can't go out there and produce a lighting portrait and they buy him because they like his personality better. He's cute, kind of looks a little gay, but that's a different story. So, but just like when you buy paintings, right? I love paintings. I buy tons of artwork, right? Every artist is different, and I buy their style predicated upon their design strategy. Same with lighting. I have specific things that I do and that I'm proud of. Shane might have a totally different approach to it, and that's fine, right? People buy me. They don't buy the fucking fixtures, technically.
All right. So this summer, you want to make 100 grand. Go to lightingtradeschool.com. Sign up for the Illuminati Lounge Club. Go to lifetimelightingsystems.com. Sign up to be a contractor and get on the schedule to come to one of our live training events. You do those 3 things and you actually put your time, money, and energy into this. There's no doubt in my mind that you can make 6 figures this summer by being out there and doing everything we just talked about. And this was only 20 minutes. And I'm certain of it because Nate's taught it to me and it worked. Nate taught it to Shane and it worked. We've taught it to other people. And when they follow through and they do it, it works. You're looking for the magic formula. You don't need a fancy Facebook ad. You don't need to figure out Google ads. The first step is to get out there and just start doing the thing. This has been the Lighting Trade School podcast. Guys, I hope you have a great day. Let's go make some damn money.
Peace.
See you guys.